Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO, just reported Q3 2025 earnings and the results are massive. With revenue surged 22% year-to-year, the AI semiconductor sales soared 63% year-to-year, and the free cash flow at the record 7 billion high. Also with Q4 guidance forecasting 17.4 billion revenue, which is a 24% year-to-year growth. That I can just say that Broadcom is riding the unstoppable AI and VMware wave that is. So in this video, we're going to go over Broadcom's Q3 earnings results. We're also going to talk a little bit about what's fueling Broadcom's AI driven growth. Of course, we're going to do a technical and a fundamental analysis for support and resistance zone, because we want to know where to go, get in and get out of the stock. Now, I'm also going to do a couple of price predictions as always for short, medium and long-term targets. And at the end, we're going to do a most likely scenario with a roughly 80% probability price range till the next earnings. And I'm also going to tell you what I'm going to do with Broadcom. Now, if this seems interesting for you, then stay tuned till the end of the video, because we're going to go over some key investors levels for Broadcom. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Wealth.com. I'm Noble BM, and let's just take a look at Broadcom right now. So Broadcom, ticker symbol AVGO, leader in the semiconductor industry. Their revenue, they had a growth of 15.95 billion. Revenue growth, which is a 22% year-over-year growth. A semiconductor 9.17 billion with a B, which is a 26% growth. The infrastructure software, VM, Wave and enterprise a 6.79 billion, which is 70% growth year-to-year. AI revenue came in at 5.2 billion, which is 63% year-to-year growth, and it is expected to hit 6.2 billion in Q4, which is just amazing. I must say that Broadcom is on the wave. Now, adjusted EBITDA is at 10.7 billion. This is 67% margin. And GAAP EPS is at 0.85, and non-GAAP EPS is at $1.69 a share. So incredible growth right here for Broadcom. They also reported that their free cash flow is a record-breaking 7.02 billion, 44% of revenue and 47% year-to-year growth. Now the dividend is 0. They pay a dividend, and they're also growing their dividend, $0.59 per share. And the Q4 guidance was 70.4 billion revenue, a 24% growth year-to-year, and an EBITDA of 67 margins. So amazing report for Broadcom here. I just wanted to go over their infrastructure just a little bit and what they're doing. So app and data platform services, application network services, cloud infrastructure, disaster and ransomware recovery, and private AI. So basically cybersecurity compliance, beyond code, database and data management, DevX and DevOps, and foundation and open mainframes. So they are all over the place. I love this company. I must say I love this company. I do not own the share anymore. So let's just take a look at their financials just for a sec here. Let's go to financials and let's go to earnings. So forecast 2025, 6.66 billion, 2026, 8.22 billion, 9.96 billion for 2027, and 2028, 11.23 billion. This was annual EPS growth. And then revenue, they want to grow at, let's say, 2026, 76.94. So roughly 77 billion, and 2027, roughly 90 billion. What a growth. What a growth for a company. And also they're expecting to grow their dividends. So we can see here also in the past years, slight but constant dividend growth. As for the technicals, let's jump into some technical analysis here. So we got here a beautiful support. So after the earnings, they just reported earnings. After the earnings, they jumped massively at 300, currently sitting at 332 in the futures. They're basically going to open there, if not even higher, until the market opens, unless you're going to get some really bad job report. Now we have 4 support levels. We have the 20-day, which is sitting at 299. Then we have the 50-day, which is sitting at 286, and this is moving average. We have the 100-day moving average sitting at 264, and we have the 200-day moving average sitting at 235. I currently do not own the share, but I would love to add more or buy in a startup position right here. Right here is where the magic happens at 200, somewhere here between 250 and 222. I would love to add there to Broadcom, because they have, this is one level of support. So they have to go through 3 moving averages. Then they have the 4th level of moving average, which is previous high. So a massive, massive level of support. Underneath of that, they have their 1-year moving average, or their 1-year resistance, which is just this massive, massive range here at 160, between 180 and 150, let's just say. And then we have this massive moving, this massive resistance down here. So strong resistance zones, key support levels, and currently we have a negative divergent in the RSI. This leads to think that we're going to have a pullback. But let's just take a look at the price action with a pretty much high probability for the short, medium, and long term. So I'm expecting for the short term to see a backtrack somewhere down here within the 200, 290-ish zone. So maybe it's not going to take out. If we don't have some massive, massive negative news, I don't expect Broadcom to take out the 50-day moving average. If it does happen, then we're going to go to the medium term, which is actually more bullish. That is going to go up, and maybe then it's going to come down. So I'm still expecting in the medium term, Broadcom, after they guided a massive 24% year-to-year growth, that they expected to grow the AI demand, or the AI demand is expected to grow. The stock is likely to trade between the 300 and the 335. So maybe there's going to be here a consolidation of the stock. If not, the bearish case will be that they're going to go down here in the 270 and hit that 100-day moving average. Now this is also perfect opportunity to buy here, because just take a look at the massive support level that you have underneath of you. So even if you're buying here somewhere between the 200 and somewhere between the 100 and the 50-day moving average, you still have underneath of you a massive support level. Now for the long term, and this means between 6 and 12 months, I'm expecting for this little puppy to go to 400. Why am I expecting this? Let's do a Fibonacci extension. And in order to do it, let's just go to the Fibonacci extension tool. So we need to take the bottom of the bear market, of its previous bear market, and go to the top of its bull market, and then go down to where its biggest retracement was. So where was the bottom of Broadcom's bear market? Let's go back. I'm going to deselect here. So was it in 2023? No, it was not. It was actually in 2022 here in October. And since then, so I'm going to take this October. Since then, it just went. I can even go here. Went, and let me just do this. It went up here. So let's do bottom, top, retracement, and there we go. So what do we say about Fibonacci's? If it hits the 61, then the probability and stays there or retests it. This is why I said that between the 50 and the 100-day moving average is probably where buyers will step back in. And if it hits this range, is going to go up to the 100%, which is at 350 rough, and then it's nothing. There's nothing that stands in its way to go to the 127%, which is the 400. So 6 to 12 months, this is where our technical analysis shows us that the price will land. Now after that, I don't know, it's magic. Sky's the limit. But I don't have any shares for Broadcom. I'm expecting, at this point, I do not want to add any exposure to Broadcom. This is way, way, way too dangerous for me. But if it comes down here, between the 50 and the 100-day moving average, it's a buy for me. If it comes even further down, again, it's a buy for me. If it comes even further down, it's still a buy. So I would say there are 3 levels where you can buy in, although you will be likely catching a falling knife. So there are 3 levels that do look like a falling knife for Broadcom. Now, if it falls down here, then game over. I would say take your loss and move on. But hey, probabilities are currently pretty high if the current demand for AI chips remains, that the next move will be a slight correction, but then we are looking for the 400 price target for Broadcom. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Norbert BM. This was Wealth Dom. Catch you next time. Like and subscribe. Bye bye.